at the Venetian. And so you'll hear from Patrick Nichols, the leader of the Venetian Palazzo, his company, and also Acting Secretary Julie Sue, who is just a tremendous supporter for workers. I would like to take a few minutes, however, because we do have a new day here, but we do have to acknowledge some history. And there's been a lot of history here. The campaign to organize the Venetian is one of the longest in our history at the Culinary Workers Union. And in February 1999, workers led by civil rights icon Congressman John Lewis stood against the previous ownership team, anti-union billionaire Sheldon Adelson. He tried to silence workers, claimed the sidewalks were private, but the workers didn't back down, and the union didn't back down. Labor dispute went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court, which ruled in favor of the union, declared that the sidewalks were public, and that workers had the right to protest, no matter who the owner was. But there was a real turning point, and that turning point came when the Venetian, under Patrick's leadership, and the union reached a card check neutrality agreement. That historic breakthrough allowed thousands of workers at the Venetian Palazzo to choose, to have the choice whether to join the union and management remaining neutral and respecting their choice. So for the first time in 25 years, the Venetian workers would have a say in their future. And then on August 20th, 2024, after more than 20 consecutive hours of negotiations, we all got a tough team, Patrick. But it followed 6 months of intense negotiations. The Culinary Union secured, along with the Bartenders Union, a tentative agreement with the Venetian, and that allowed over 4,000 workers to benefit from better wages, healthcare, and job security. That agreement, however, had to go to a vote, and the response is overwhelming. In a big display of unity, 99% of workers voted yes to ratify this historic first-time union contract in their property's history. And after 25 years of persistence, the Venetian is now union and will be. Now, we celebrate this achievement of the Las Vegas Strip being 100% union. But for a generational victory and agreement like this to happen, there's many things, other things need to happen, and 3 things also must be recognized. But first of all, the Culinary Workers Union and the Bartenders Union Local 165. We're fighting unions. Now, we must negotiate and enforce the best contracts for our members. But the number one priority of the labor movement must be to grow and organize so that workers truly have a voice in the workplace of this country. And our members have always been to outwork and outlast any opposition to do that. But second, and I really want to spend a moment on this, the new ownership team here from Apollo at the Venetian has recognized that in order for the Venetian to regain its position and be the preeminent destination resort of Las Vegas that it truly is, it is recognized that workers are the most valuable asset of any company. Where there was once a company led by an anti-union ideologue intent on denying workers the right to have a union at any cost, we have a management team led by CEO Patrick Nichols, who, by the way, I want to say this again, has the strongest bargaining team that we've dealt with. I'll say that right here, right now. But I would have to say, Patrick agrees that a true partnership with the workforce means giving them a say in their future, which leads to the very best productivity, and that'll beat the competition anytime. Thank you so much, Patrick. Thank you. But third, working families in this country deserve their chance at the American dream. A good union job, great health care, chance to own a home, take care of their kids, and retire with dignity. That requires leadership from the very, very top. There's been no better friend to working families in our lifetime than the Biden-Harris administration. Under Secretary Julie Sue, President Biden and Vice President Harris have had the support for unions and the right to organize, and that support and the right to organize at its highest level in the last 30 years. And we should just say, and we have to acknowledge here in Las Vegas, COVID crushed our economy, and the Biden-Harris policy saved our jobs. And we're back stronger than ever here in Las Vegas because of that. But we know the cost of gas, food, and housing are too high. We know that. But in addition to taking on price gouging by massive corporations, the Biden-Harris administration understands that for the greatest economy in the world to succeed, we've got to protect working class families, and we got to get more money in their pockets. The victory here for workers is a joint victory. It's a mutual victory here. It's a culmination of the Biden-Harris vision to rebuild the middle class of this country. But look, right here in Las Vegas, there are those who would oppose and try to destroy that vision. We have workers here from Stations Casinos. They've been fighting for 15 years against a management team that wants to take working families backward. And it denied them the opportunity to have what the Venetian workers have. With your support, Secretary Sue, and support of President Biden and Vice President Harris, we know that those workers and workers all over this country will win. And so we again want to thank Patrick Nichols and the Venetian team for your support and partnership. You are true partners, and without you, we could never have achieved this historic agreement. And for let's clap for that. Thank you, Gloria. And for the working people of Las Vegas, we want to thank Secretary Julie Sue. You are a true hero to us, Secretary Sue. And with your support, we're going to fight like hell to raise up working families here in Las Vegas and all over this country. So thank you so much. We got to give a round of applause for her now and when she comes up. Now, I talk too much and I'm sorry, I apologize. But this is very emotional for us. It means so much to be able to have a partner like we have here at the Venetian. And so with that, I want to introduce.
How is everyone doing? Good. Wonderful. Well, welcome to the Venetian Resort. It's an honor to have you all with us today. You know, it's appropriate we're standing in front of our love sculpture, as love inspired the building of this resort 25 years ago. And today, more than 25 years later, it continues to remain core to the Venetian values, leading with generosity, compassion, and always keeping our team members at the center of everything we do. At the same time, as Ted mentioned, businesses evolve, and the Venetian is no different. So today I'll talk about something that's marked a meaningful change in our resort's journey, our decision to collaborate with the Culinary Union. For 25 years, team members at the Venetian Resort have not been union represented. Now, as you all know, and as Ted mentioned, our ownership and leadership have changed over the last 3 years. And with this change, we felt it was time to rethink how we ensure our team members' voices are heard. It became clear to me the most respectful and responsible way to do this was to put the decision of representation into our team members' hands. We believe the best way to do that was by signing neutrality agreements. Now, this neutrality agreement wasn't just a document. It was a statement of our commitment to transparency and trust. And by signing it, we created a collaborative environment that allowed our team members to make the decision that was right for them. Our team members had access to the information they needed to make decisions, and it was our responsibility to ensure they felt confident in their choice, free from management interference and any pressure. At the same time, I see many of my leadership team here, we made sure our leadership team was equipped to guide our company through this transition with confidence and integrity. And they did a great job. This wasn't just about adapting to change, it was about leading through it. We saw this as an opportunity to strengthen the trust we built with our team members and create a positive and productive relationship with union leadership and the bargaining unit. I'm incredibly proud of the first-time contract we negotiated with the Culinary and Bartenders Union. It's a fair contract, and I believe it was negotiated in record time for a first contract.
Yes, it was.
And yes. And I think that achievement is a testament to the respectful working relationship we developed with Ted and his team of union leadership. It's also a reflection of the hard work of our team members who were negotiating the contract, and my leadership team, and the trust that exists between them. When you work together, as we have done, everybody wins, especially our team members. With the foundation of our success, and when they feel supported, we know they bring their best selves to work. And when our team is happy, our guests are happy. It's a very simple equation, but it's one I believe wholeheartedly. I want to extend a special thanks to Ted, Papa George, the Culinary Union Local 226, the Bartenders Union Local 165 for their partnership and support in this process. I know we've laid the foundation for a strong, collaborative relationship in years to come. And in closing, I want to emphasize one thing. This collaboration is about ensuring our company continues to grow while maintaining the values that have always defined us. Together, we've shown that change can be a positive force, and I'm confident that this partnership will continue to benefit us all in the years to come, and that the Venetian Resort will remain the employer of choice on the Las Vegas Strip. So thank you, Ted, for your partnership, and I'll hand it back to you.
Again, for Patrick Nichols and the Venetian team, really amazing team. Now, we also have, will be our best speaker, of course, but we have one of our negotiating committee folks, and she's an employee here at the Venetian. Carmen, I'm sorry, you're right in front here, Carmen. Carmen, come on up and give Carmen a big round of applause. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Carmen Vargas. I've been working in the Venetian for 14 years as a floor specialist. And now I'm proud to be a Culinary Union member. About a year ago, my co-workers and I entered into a hard check neutrality. The company respects our decision to unionize, and I would like to thank the company to respect our decision. I feel very excited that my co-worker and we are able to win our first union contract. I remember the last day of the negotiation. We stayed here in the Venetian, close to 22 hours to reach the final agreement. We all are tired, but we know that we are fighting for ourselves and for a better future for our own family. And we won! I am proud that we are able to win a strong union contract as the rest of the Strip. We won job security, a pension, and the best health insurance in Las Vegas. With our new technology language, we are able to negotiate if and when new technology are brought into our workplace. Thanks to the union, I feel my future is protected. I would like to thank my fellow members who inspired me to stand up and organize. The right to organize is a federal law that makes sure workers like me come together in our workplace and organize a union. We can sit in front of the company and negotiate better future for our families. I'm proud to stand today by Julie Su, the Acting Secretary of Labor, a member of the Biden-Harris administration, We have her as a fighter for our workers. And now, I'm so proud to introduce Julie. Thank you.
Thank you. So much, Carmen. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for, I know what those 22 hours feels like at the end, but also what it feels like to actually reach that agreement. And so congratulations to all of you who made that, make that happen. It is truly a historic first contract for the Venetian and the Culinary Workers Union Local 226. And I'm just really grateful to be here to be able to celebrate that with all of you. First, let me say to Ted, Papa George. So Ted is someone who started out working as a busboy and a bartender in Las Vegas hotels. And Ted got involved in the union because he was looking out for his own health benefits and his own job security. And Ted, over the last few decades, you have expanded the promise of that kind of security to countless working people. And I just want to take a moment to acknowledge the work that you have done and what that means. And a day like today, a celebration of a first contract, you've celebrated that not just today, but made this day possible for so many workers and their families. So I just want to acknowledge your incredible work for that. And I also want to say, having grown up in California, like all self-respecting Californians, my family spent a lot of time driving down the 15 to get to Las Vegas as I was growing up. We came for Christmas, we came for buffets, we came after I became a mom for my child to play basketball tournaments. And so I want to thank the local 226 members who always made our trips so positive and fun and happy. And to echo something that Patrick Nichols said to me earlier, what you do is what makes this place a place of destination for everybody. So thank you for that, what you do for me and so many others like me. And I also, of course, want to acknowledge both Dee Taylor, the immediate past president of Unite Here, and Gwen Mills, the new president of Unite Here, and the first woman to hold that office. Thank you to a great union who is showing us the way forward. And to Patrick Nichols. Patrick, I always say leadership matters. We know it matters. It matters in companies, it matters in industry, it matters in government, it matters in unions. And your leadership really was a turning point for this journey, as Ted mentioned. And everything you said about why you did it, what it's going to mean for the company, what you said in our meeting, I just really want to acknowledge that and tell you just how important your leadership is, especially in this moment in this country when we want to make sure that everybody who works can get a good job. And we want to make sure that jobs are something where working people can support a family, lift up themselves, feel secure in their communities, and contribute in ways that you value your employees. And so thank you for your leadership in this. This is as much your celebration as it is anybody else's, and I'm delighted to be able to be here and tell you that. Right, what this means is as it's been said, and I know Patrick, you know this too, is that the workers who help to make this beautiful property a beautiful place to be are going to be able to better afford the things that make life secure, are not going to have to make tough choices between affording medication or food or rent, right, are going to be able to come home at the end of the day and feel just a little bit more secure. And those things really matter. This historic first contract is record wage increases, it's addressing workload issues, it's giving workers a voice in how, when, and whether technology is going to be adopted in the workplace. It's making sure that workers have real choice when it comes to their health benefits. And it's also about the Culinary Academy, which Local 226 knows just how valuable that is to making sure that hotels, properties that have Local 226 members have the best, most skilled workers working in them. And so that is something that this contract brings to the Venetian. And you should all be proud of that, and I know that I am too. And as already been said as well, this contract now brings the Las Vegas Strip to a 100% unionized workforce. So, now I just want to say there's something special about first contract celebrations. And I'm now looking out this way, but I was also looking out that way, and I feel like there's a metaphor here. So, in my job, as part of the Biden-Harris administration, I've been able to celebrate a lot of contracts in the last few years, record contracts, right, where workers are saying, and companies are also believing that workers deserve their fair share, that it's time, right, for record profits to mean record contracts. And a lot of those contracts, the ones that are basically, a renewal of a contract, is kind of like a renewal of your vows, right? Like you look at, what needed to be done in a relationship to make it better. You look at whether things have changed and, how you could strengthen the relationship. You look at maybe one party has given up a lot more before in the relationship and now should be compensated, right? That's when you are renegotiating a contract. But there's something about a first contract that is different. The first contract is kind of like the wedding itself. So Patrick, you mentioned, I don't know if you chose this on purpose because you feel that way too, but I feel like looking down here, seeing the aisle, seeing love behind us, this is really the celebration. This is the wedding. So this is a real celebration, and thank you for inviting me to your wedding. And yeah. It's different, right? It's different from when you renew contracts. You guys have negotiated renewals, you know that too. And so I am very much here to say that I see a very bright future for all of you together. And Patrick mentioned the timing of this negotiation. And I want to say that's also very, very important. I think this contract was negotiated in about 16 months after the union voted for it, more or less. Amazing. And I think that's important too, right? Because sometimes first contracts take a really long time to negotiate, right? You guys know that. And it shouldn't be that way, right? Because when workers choose a union, they deserve a union contract. And sometimes that delay or the length of time it takes really becomes a way to punish workers for having chosen the union, right? For saying to workers, maybe make them wonder why they chose it in the first place. And getting to a first contract is really important for that purpose. The other thing I see is that sometimes if the negotiations are drawn out or they're particularly hostile, it really frays the relationship. And that's also not good for anybody. And so the ability to get to a first contract in a reasonable amount of time is really, really important. And I really want to acknowledge and praise you all for having done that too. I see the benefit of that. And one thing that I have done is made a challenge to employers and unions to try to reach first contracts within a year. It shouldn't take longer than a year to negotiate a first contract, right? Yeah. And so what you all have done here is really something that we want to expand, we want to elevate, we want to emulate. We want to say this is possible, you made it possible, and it's something that that we want to make sure that other people are doing as well. I also just want to acknowledge, though, for a moment as I look out and see the sea of workers in red, I want to acknowledge that getting here was not easy. Sometimes there's a tendency when you celebrate the victory to just think that this was always going to happen. This was inevitable, right? But you all made it happen. And sometimes it was hard. And sometimes I'm sure you weren't sure if you were going to get here, right? You take risks to do it. You put yourself out there. And I want to acknowledge that too, because these things are not promised. They happen because working people stand together, because they keep at it even in the face of opposition. And again, Patrick Nichols turned the tide, but I know that you faced opposition. So I just want to tell you that I'm here to honor and really celebrate the fact that you all stayed with it, and that you are here now is a testament to that struggle and your willingness to keep on going even when it was really hard. So congratulations to all of you. I think what that means is that oftentimes, working people see a vision for something that other people haven't seen yet, and that vision is really, really important. And that vision, which I know Patrick shares, is the idea that when you have a union contract, you can look forward to positive relationships between employers and their workers, right? You can look forward to building a world-class property with world-class employees. You can improve communication, not just at the bargaining table, but in between bargaining sessions, right? You have a way of talking about how we can better improve the way the business operates. You come to work knowing that you are valued, that you have a voice, and that affects what you do while you're here at work. As has been mentioned, union workplaces are far more productive than non-union workplaces because workers feel a stake in their own future. And that's really important, and that is something else that we really celebrate here. This is a shared win. It is a shared success story. I've never known a worker to try to organize a union because they don't want to work for their employer. I've never known a worker to organize because they hate their employer, right? Workers organize because they want their employer to succeed. They want their employer to do well, and that shared success is the lifetime future of the romance that you all are solidifying here today. And so, congratulations on all that. I'm just going to close by saying why it's so important to have good jobs in our country, and why it's such a deep commitment of our President, President Biden, of our Vice President Harris, and of the entire Biden-Harris administration. When President Biden says the middle class built America and unions built the middle class, he's talking about all of you. He's talking about the work that you all have done to make sure that every job is a good job, and every worker comes home healthy and safe at the end of the workday, and every worker gets a just day's pay for the hard day's work that they put in. When he says that he wants to make sure that every worker gets to go home at the end of the day, look their children in the eye, and say, everything's gonna be okay, and mean it, he's talking about you and what you've accomplished here right now. And we want to make sure that a job like that is available to every worker, to every family, in every community all across the country. And you are showing that that is possible here. So thank you for what you have done. I'm so excited to celebrate with you. As I look out here too, this union also is a union that looks like America, right? This is a union that is over 50% women. There's immigrants from all over the world who come here. And so you are also building the future of this country, a future that will look like all of America. And I am just so happy for all of you.